recently listening to the radio, and this ad came on, and it went something like, "Is it 2 a.m. and you have to work in 4 hours, but your baby won't stop crying? Life can be hard, but you know what you should never do? Never shake the baby." Like, really? We have to tell people not to do that? It sounds so ridiculous. And the ad didn't stop, it went on. "Shaken baby syndrome can lead to wait, he said syndrome? Since when do we start calling things that ridiculously stupid people do syndromes? It's not, "Oh, how'd your cousin die again? Oh man, he died from shooting a gun at the cops and getting shot by them syndrome." There's no NASCAR fan syndrome. We don't call it Scientology syndrome. Shouldn't it just be shaken baby murder, not syndrome? But I don't know, I never listen to the radio. For all I know, there are ads out there that are like, "Don't use your baby as a doorstop. Never feed your baby to another baby. Don't play hide and seek with your baby for more than 3 days." I learned an interesting fact the other day, and that's that Missouri is known as the show me state. And that's really unfortunate, but terribly appropriate given their leadership in the field of illiteracy. Bunch of Missourians here, apparently. President Obama's dog is named Bo, as in B-O, Bo. Clearly, no one wrote that down before they decided on the name because they would have realized that the name Bo Obama looks like the word Boobama. Boobama is a much better name. Boobama Obama is the spell they teach at Hogwarts for bigger breasts. Have you guys heard this phrase, YOLO? Good. For a while, I was confused by people's enthusiasm for low-fat yogurt. And I just recently learned that it means you only live once. And you're supposed to say it like right before you do something really reckless, like do a backflip on a bike or have unprotected sex. You only live once. And it's supposed to mean that, you shouldn't waste your life being cautious because it's the only time to be alive. And it just makes me worry about people not understanding the definition of the word once. Like, the time to use YOLO is when you just buckled your seatbelt. That's funny, whatever. I had the opportunity to go to a mega church the other day, but it was really disappointing because it turns out they don't worship mega Jesus. Can you imagine how cool that would have been? Mega Jesus is like 14 feet tall, fucking part robot, shreds the guitar. That guy who chewed off the homeless man's face in Miami was in the news the other day because the autopsy came back. Turns out, no bath salts. However, there was marijuana, and the national media jumped all over that as though him smoking pot was the reason for this, face attack. And while I don't think that's the case, I really like to imagine some stoner just walking on, like, "Oh, I'm so hungry. Your face looks like Nutella. Yellow." Have you ever been right about to ejaculate and then you pee instead? That shit is traumatizing. You will feel bad every single time your family uses the computer keyboard. The Navy's testing this underwater high-frequency sound system that is apparently going to deafen 15,000 whales. And what I'm really worried about is that all the whale songs will be off-key. Actually, I was just surprised because I already thought that whales were deaf. I read about someone who was arrested for aggressive panhandling the other day. I don't know what that is, but I'd like to think that it's just a more polite form of mugging. "Please give me all your fucking money, Mrs. Bitch." And I really like that aggressive euphemism thing. Like, from now on, to me, kidnapping, aggressive babysitting. When I do heroin, that's just aggressive relaxation. Cops, they're just aggressive assholes. I showed up at the airport the other day and saw that they have one of those newfangled total body imaging machines that could see everything, and I immediately regretted wrapping my penis in tinfoil that morning. What was more awkward than refusing to remove it was winning the argument about whether or not there was a policy against it. YOLO!